Brilliant news!
Number 1. The Atlantic Rowing Race. This race is held every year in December and starts in the Canary Islands. Contestants can be solo rowers, pairs, trios, 4s or 5s, and they must row 3,000 miles to Nelson's Dockyard in Antigua and Barbuda. Contestants row for 2 hours and then rest for 2 hours, constantly 24 hours a day, experiencing high winds and waves of up to 20 feet. Each rower will consume over 5,000 calories and 10 litres of water a day, and even so they will lose an average of 26.5 pounds in weight. The fastest time ever was a 4-man team that did it in a little under 30 days. The quickest time for a solo rower was just under 50 days. Number 2. The Iditarod. This long-distance sled dog race is as famous as it is dangerous. Racers with their team of 14 dogs must travel 938 miles through blizzards, gale-force winds, snowbanks, gorges and temperatures that, with wind chill, drop as low as -100 degrees Fahrenheit. Each team must sign in on 26 different checkpoints and complete 3 mandatory rests at any of the checkpoints. 1 24-hour layover, 1 8-hour stop and another 8-hour stop that must be completed at White Mountain Checkpoint. Number 3. MONTANE YUKON Arctic Ultra. When a race has a risk of frostbite and amputations, you know it's going to be hard. This 430-mile race through the Arctic wilderness that can be run on foot, ridden on fat bikes or cross-country skis. The event starts at Whitehorse, Yukon and ends 13 days later in Dawson City. Temperatures can drop to as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit and wind chill can make them seem even lower. Snowfall can hide the trail, so getting lost and falling into a snow-filled ditch or through thin ice are constant threats. Competitors must carry everything they need for the race with them because checkpoints where they can get a hot meal are 26 to 44 miles apart, and each participant needs to consume between 4,000 and 7,000 calories a day to survive. If you're enjoying this video, please give us a quick like. Number 4. Satan's Velodrome. This event takes place every year, and although the course changes from one year to the next, it's generally between 310 and 373 miles long and lasts 5 days. Held in the Simpson Desert, Australia, participants must complete 2 stages each day in the sweltering desert sun. A morning stage of 47 miles and an afternoon stage of 28 miles. And aside from the water stops every 12 miles, riders must be completely self-sufficient. A vehicle called the Sweep follows the competitors at a speed of 7.5 miles per hour. Riders must stay ahead of the Sweep, and if they get caught by it, they fail the stage and have to take a lift back to the end of the stage. There is no prize for winning, riders get sponsored, and all proceeds go to the Royal Flying Doctor Service of Australia. Participants who complete all the stages receive a 100% medal. Number 5. The ULTRAMAN. This endurance challenge is a 3-day event held in Hawaii, and participants must be at least 20 years old. On day 1, all competitors must swim 6.2 miles and then cycle cross-country for 90 miles, climbing a total of 6,000 feet. On day 2, they must cycle 171.4 miles, climbing a total of 4,000 feet. On day 3, they must complete a 52.4 mile double marathon. Each day's event must be completed in less than 12 hours, and the swim must be completed in under 5.5 hours. Number 6. The Everest Challenge. This bike race is held in California and basically consists of riding your bike uphill, climbing an accumulative altitude of 27,000 feet, a similar height to Mount Everest's 29,000 feet. Competitors have 2 days to complete the challenge, and each day they complete 3 separate climbs, the clock stopping at the peak of the last climb of the day. On day 1, the climb to Mosquito Flat, Pine Creek and South Lake, cycling 120 miles and climbing 14,700 feet. On day 2, they climb Glacier Lodge, Wokoba Canyon and White Mountain, cycling 85 miles and climbing 12,500 feet. Number 7. The Sahara Marathon. If you think normal marathons are too short, run on surfaces that are too hard and flat, and in climatic conditions that are too mild, then the Sahara Marathon is made for you. Participants must run 156 miles, the equivalent of 6 marathons, over 6 days, through the Sahara Desert over rocks and sand with temperatures reaching 122 Fahrenheit. They must carry their own food and water, and they must also carry a sleeping bag to camp down at the end of each stage. Number 8. NORSEMAN Extreme Triathlon. The NORSEMAN Triathlon is held annually in Norway and is basically an Ironman race on steroids. Just as with an Ironman event, competitors must cycle, run and swim, and the distance of both competitions are also similar. But in the NORSEMAN Extreme Triathlon, participants must cycle 112 miles through the mountains. The first 25 miles is a climb up to an altitude of 4,000 feet. They must run 26 miles, the last 10.5 miles of which is a climb up to 6,168 feet. But before cycling and running up mountains, all participants must swim 2.5 miles in the freezing waters of Iditarod, which, being in Norway, you'd be lucky if the water is still liquid. Number 9. The Barkley Marathon. This is an ultra-marathon race held at Frozen Head State Park, Tennessee. Participants must run a 20-mile loop 5 times in a row and in under 60 hours. To make it even harder, the loop isn't really a track, it's just a route through the forest over uneven ground with brambles and brush, and an accumulative climb, if you complete all 5 loops, of 60,000 feet. That's like running up Mount Everest twice. The race is so hard that in its 25-year existence, only 15 people have ever completed it. Not only is the race hard to complete and hard to run, but it's also hard to register. Only 40 runners can participate each year. Registration opens on an undisclosed day, at an undisclosed time, and applicants must include an essay explaining why they should be allowed to participate, along with their application fee. If accepted, they receive a letter of condolence. Number 10. Tough Guy Competition. Claiming to be the world's most demanding one-day survival ordeal, the Tough Guy Competition takes place in the middle of winter on a 600-acre farm in Staffordshire, England. The race consists of a 6-mile cross-country run, an up-and-down slalom that must be completed 9 times, a series of fences and 6-foot ditches made of muddy water, and an insane assault course with 25 different obstacles ranging from crawling under barbed wire, wading through a half mile of near-freezing muddy water, balancing on planks over fire pits, and flooded tunnels full of cables to give you electric shocks. A third of all participants fail to reach the end, and the course as a whole has never been completed. There have been countless injuries, sprains, broken bones, hypothermia, dehydration, dislocated joints, and even 2 deaths. The event is so dangerous that competitors must sign a form acknowledging the risks and absolving the organisers of any liability before they can participate. Would you try any of these races, and if so, which one? Comment below and please like and subscribe for more.